Welcome to the demonstration of the ED-917, which is an annual outcomes questionnaire for EDA grantees serving clients. In this demonstration, you will see how a revolving loan fund grantee might complete one of these questionnaires. Grantees will report on 1 year of outcomes when completing this. All of the questions are available in PDF format on our website for grantees to familiarize themselves with them ahead of time and be more prepared. We'll go ahead and walk through this questionnaire for a sample grantee and provide helpful hints and clarifications along the way. Great, thank you so much, Janae, for helping us. Please go ahead and complete the questionnaire. Just want to point out here on this first page, there's some general information about the questionnaire itself and how it's organized, as well as some reminders that not all categories of questions are going to apply to your scope of work, so you can easily bypass the categories or skip or select NA depending on what the questions are. But for RLFs here, the purposes of the word client here might mean borrower. So let's just keep in mind the various terms here for client and how we're using that. But also, you can see here the email address, programevaluation@eda.gov. That is a great resource for any grantees who have any questions about the questionnaire.
Okay, so there are two sections for the ED-917. The first section is just asking for data on private investments and jobs outcomes. The second section, as you'll see, is asking for all of the capacity outcomes. So if you click the forward arrow or click on, yep. This is just additional directions and instructions on how to go about responding to this section. Yep. You can click on unknown but expected, and during the course of the month that grantees have to respond to this questionnaire, if say you now have the data to enter, you can always go back in your questionnaire and make those changes from unknown but expected, and put in the actual data that you have. Here you can only provide one or the other. Okay, so you've completed this section, and so if you click on the forward arrow, it will take you to section 2, which is the capacity outcomes section, in addition to the geography and tools and the narrative sections as well. So for the purposes of this demo, we'll go from the beginning from the beginning, yes, to the end, but grantees have the choice to move around as they are taking this. So if you have data for a particular section that falls somewhere in the middle, you can start there and then move around as you get data for the other sections. And as you read the definitions and what the categories are about, if it's not applicable to you, you say no, and then you'll skip all of the questions under that particular category of outcomes. Here, just additional information about how to enter the data. So we've moved to the markets section. The way it works is once you complete a section, a category, it'll take you to the next category in the order in which they appear. And again, for the purposes of this demo, we'll go from category to category, and you'll read through the definitions and instructions and determine whether or not it's relevant to the scope of work of your award. Once grantees are taking this, they can move between categories as they wish.
I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of the 3 lines at the top that can help you get an idea of where you're at within the questionnaire. So if you click on that, you can see each of the categories as well as the progress. So for this category, the innovation, technology transfer, and commercialization, you can see that you're 14% of the way through, which is just the first question. But you can easily skip around between categories, as Aminata has just mentioned.
here you're at the human capital and workforce category, and you can tell you're in a new category when you see the first question as a yes or no, and the categories themselves are highlighted or bolded. The first line is always bolded. So if this is applicable, you would say yes. If it's not, then you would say no. So we're at a new category. This is the organizational or institutional capacity category. If this is relevant to your scope of work, you would say yes. If no, then you click no and skip all of the questions under this category. Okay, and now we're at the geography and tools section. So here we're just asking for specific geographic information, and we encourage all grantees to provide this information if they have it. This is the narrative section. We're just looking to get any additional information that you want us to know about the status of your award and what's been going on. And there's an additional question down below where it asks about the activities that and how they've benefited distressed populations and underserved populations as well. Both of these questions are not mandatory, but we encourage grantees to let us know what's been going on. Okay. So now we are at, after you've submitted your questionnaire, you're provided with a PDF of your responses. You can go ahead and download that to keep for your records or for whatever need you may have of it.
Great. Thank you so much. You've now completed the questionnaire. We appreciate your help with this, Janae, and we hope that for those watching that this has been helpful to get a sense of what it would look like for you as an RLF grantee as you prepare to complete your first ED-917.
Yes. And while Janae completed this in one sitting, grantees are allowed a month to complete the questionnaire. So, you can go back, you can make changes to your answers, you can add more answers as you get them. So if you had said unknown but expected, and then during that course of the month, and you get more data and more information, you can always go back and make changes to the answers that you provided.